In about 2 months away until the release of Vanguard, I want to give you guys my humble opinion for the next installment of Zombies itself, being Vanguard Zombies. Now, I heard that the Vanguard Zombies is basically a continuation story of the Dark Ether. Not really much of a continuation as a sequel, but more like a prequel, similar to the Red Dead Redemption 2, where all the events in that game take place before the events of the Red Dead Redemption, the first game of it. And honestly, I really give no shit about the Dark Ether story in Vanguard at all. I really think they could have done, another different type of zombie story, but nope, they had to do it because Modern Warfare, Cold War, and now Vanguard are seen to be in the same timeline period, the same universe, which I just think it's bullshit with the whole integration. And honestly, the Warzone's gonna get a lot worse with these weapons they add, and but we're not talking about Warzone. We're talking about zombies here. And as for Vanguard Zombies, it's gonna be developed by Treyarch. Yeah, the current developer that's already, on the spotlight here with COD, with Cold War, and they're also the one that made Zombies, so that means that Treyarch, up to this point, they're no longer a main developer for working for COD. Now they're gonna do Zombies for every COD title, even if it's not their main focus developer. They're gonna do it under Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and I don't think there's even got a time for themselves because they're gonna be exhausted from making zombies every year. Now I know they did develop, zombie game. It takes multiple years for them to develop. Like after they did World of War, they had to do Blackout 1, but at least they got a lot bit more year time. But here, now they had to do it every year on a more powerful console, especially now with the PS5 and the Xbox One series. I have no clue. They're real, and it seems that Activision is really beating Treyarch a dead horse here, and they seem to be doing this ever since Black Ops 3. That Activision, it just keep picking on Treyarch like a huge greedy bully they are. I can name for a few examples in the game, and almost ever since Black Ops 3. They put pay-to-win weapons in Black Ops 3, and people blame Treyarch for it. When it comes to Black Ops 4, guess what? Treyarch made it like an online co-op campaign, and then that was kind of scrapped because a lot of people didn't like it, so they went with the traditional campaign. So they lost a lot of time, maybe a lot of development time there. And then Activision just told Treyarch to scrap the campaign and just work on Blackout, being the Battle Royale. So they lost even more development time. And they only have like 8 months to do it, so it's pretty crappy. And also the zombie team had to work on Blackout first before they do their own zombie game. So they even have even lesser development time for 4 freaking maps at launch. And it was such a buggy mess that a lot of people did not want to play it. And honestly, I think it's only at least properly got fixed around, the first 2 months. Which, leaving a first expression is always important, and sadly, Black Ops 4 did not leave a very good first expression. And a lot of people really disliking BO4. And it really shows. I still played around it, but a lot of people, and also a lot of my friends, don't play as much anymore with it because they just didn't like it. And I kind of don't blame them for it. Now, for the Cold War itself, this is the biggest killer here, that they're really just trying to, for some reason, Activision really trying to make Treyarch as the hated developer in a 3-year development cycle. When it comes to Cold War, it wasn't Treyarch's, focus. It was actually supposed to be Sledgehammer / Raven, but for some reason Activision just kind of told them to, you're not working on this game anymore, you work on the next one. Which, they put all their effort there for nothing, and now they had to put Treyarch in that seat, and now they had to develop a game that they'd even made from the ground up, so they had to continue it on with it. Such as some of the multiplayer maps and other shit that was borrowed from other developers. So it doesn't give much creativity for Treyarch to do. As well as the campaign for Cold War, it was developed by Raven and not Treyarch, which is really a damn shame because I would love to see a campaign made by Treyarch, because I still think Black Ops 1 was Treyarch's best campaign they ever made. And for Zombies itself, well, I feel like that's where the full Treyarch team is working on, where they're more focused on, which was Zombies. And now that we got a Vanguard Zombies, and now Treyarch's working on that, I noticed that Season 5 has been a little bit more buggy than usual. Especially with the custom blueprint bug where you get duplicate, and the rarity you lose it. The whole, when you parachute, you basically crack your spine and now you see everything upside down. Many things. There may be other things as well, but those are the two biggest problems that has, and they have never fixed it ever since Season 5 came out. All because they're too focusing on making Vanguard Zombies, which shouldn't happen. And honestly, I just think it's really disappointing that Activision is just using Treyarch like this just to keep COD afloat, because they know multiplayer sucks fucking dick, and Warzone is filled with hackers still, and it's not even a fun game, I find. You do the same shit over and over again for like, what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it's just, you either win or lose. There's no replay value for it. And I know a lot of people got it because, oh, it's a free game. Yeah, sometimes free games doesn't mean it's going to be an excellent game. And I heard there's a lot of people do really wish there was a year 2 for Cold War, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen, because Modern Warfare didn't have it like this. They did what they had, like free guns, and they had the final LMG, and then they're pretty much done support of Modern Warfare, and they're probably gonna do the same thing here with Cold War once Vanguard's release. Add like the final weapon and no more updates for Cold War, which kind of sucks because I actually enjoyed the game, despite being, on a, a modified Black Ops 4 engine. And of course, I say they got Zombie Chronicles 2 up and ready. I don't know if this was leaked or anything like that. So, here's my advice to you: if for people who do want Cold War to have like a year 2 content, and hell, even see Zombie Chronicles 2 for Cold War. You know how you'll really want to get it, or maybe even guarantee it? Don't buy Vanguard, especially for zombies. That way, if they see the game is a massive bomb, Treyarch has no choice but to go back to Cold War, fix some of the problems, and actually update the game even more to keep the fans happy, as well as able to get some money off of it as well, mostly from store bundles and all that. So that's basically the only way that we're ever gonna get a year 2 for Cold War, and maybe even see Zombie Chronicles 2 if that's ever gonna be a thing. Just don't buy the newest COD, and I'm not gonna buy it because it's literally the same shit. I mean, as much as I enjoy a World War II COD, a game set in World War II, COD of World War II was completely crap in terms of the The campaign was so predictable. It was basically a ripped off from a Band of Brothers, which I don't mind at all, but they just so boring to play as, you know, playing on the American side and be the hero to liberate Europe. I mean, I'm always down for that. It just needs to make it more interesting. They just didn't do it. It just feels so predictable. As for the multiplayer side, was okay, but of course skill-based matchmaking kills it, so of course I'm not going to be playing the multiplayer. But since the Vanguard's going to be in a Modern Warfare 2019 engine, so that means we get tac sprint, mount, doors. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch the multiplayer. Hell, I didn't even touch the multiplayer of Modern Warfare 2019. I never touched it at all. I just seen the gameplay, and I know it's completely crap. I do love the gun animations they did, like they put a lot of details on a weapon. But all that shit doesn't mean anything if the gameplay sucks so much. As for zombies itself, it's probably going to be the same thing like Cold War in terms of gameplay, rewards, just, you know, World War II weapons, and probably less attachment downsides, because you're very limited to what era that you work on a COD with. So at this given point, I am not even gonna bother to buy Vanguard Zombies. Not even if it's on a low price sale. This will be the first COD that I will never buy at launch since Modern Warfare 2. And that was back in 2009. So overall, and I really hope this pays, I hope this teaches Activision and Legend that having released COD every year is not a good idea in terms of developing costs and huge crunch deadline time. It just exhausts everything. The community doesn't know what it wants. It wants this, it wants that, and guess what? When they put it in the game, they still complain about it. Well, here's my complaint. Stop releasing COD every year. And guess what? When they do that, once they stop releasing COD every year, guess what? I'm happy, but many people aren't. And it just goes to show that not everybody, you cannot please everybody in the community. You just can't. But you can definitely please the core dedicated players. But we know that's not going to happen because they only care about the lower skill casual players, because they see them as just lots of loud talking wallets. So that's why they had skill-based matchmaking. If they didn't include it, they're gonna lose all that lot of player base. That means they're gonna lose money. Well, that's not how you make it in the first place. When you make a game that's so passionate, that you pour so much into it, and show the world, especially to a different target of audience, you're definitely gonna make some good money off of it, especially if you keep the content supporting for multiple years. Look at Payday 2, for example, with Overkill. They developed the game, and they made a lot of content throughout the years, and guess what? They made so much money somehow, and by the end of the day, they made it for free for a while until they had to go back to pay because of their situation. It's going to show you that releasing COD every year is not the answer to get more money. Honestly, you're better off just making a COD game for 5 to 10 years. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. That's going to be my take on the Vanguard Zombies and basically the whole Activision and Treyarch situation as a whole. Until then, farewell, and have a wonderful day, everyone.